Okay, I believe we are back. Let me know if we are not back, but I do believe we are back at this point. Um, it's just that unfortunately. Okay. Oh, so yeah, I was finally dropped off an invite, and I can finally get back to the lobby. Okay, so we're getting in. Okay, we are back. Thank you for confirmation. And yeah, apparently we are in about lap number 13. So most of the drivers, I would say, have already started to make their pit stops from mediums to hards. Of course, those who hadn't pitted um, until we had lost out connection. Oh, and looks like we have a battle between Rysel and Combined YouTuber as they just come out of the pits on brand new tires. I would suppose. No, they're already on 5 and 7 lap old hards, which... that is interesting. So they pitted at about... Combined YouTuber pitted lap 7, went for the 2 lap undercuts on Rysel, and is now pressurizing the leader of the Grand Prix, Emilil, still in P3 for the time being. Warhead in P4, Flyboy P5, T-Mac P6, Addy P7. And yeah, we have Combined YouTuber chasing closely the McLaren, of course. The McLaren does have 2 laps fresher tires. So, in terms of ERS, the difference, there's no difference in terms of ERS. Both drivers have the same amount of energy available to them at this point. But in terms of the tires, that might have that might be a factor that could make a difference. But yeah, Rysel, I believe, is still within a second of the Renault at this point of the race. Let's see how it goes. The name tag, as you can see, is starting to disappear a little bit. But let's see. DRS is indeed available to the Renault. I apologize. It is indeed available to the Renault, and it's going to start closing in. It's of course not going to be enough to overtake, but it is close to the McLaren. Now, one thing he can do is just try to take advantage of the slipstream, keep on pressurizing, even go on the slipstream and the ERS and bring it back down to 0 ERS, so we can force Rysel to go on a higher mode, and while Combined YouTuber maintains the range. So let's see if he's able to pull that one off. Rysel is on mode 0 at the moment, while Combined YouTuber is on mode number 1. So Rysel, I would say, has the advantage in terms of the management at this point of the Grand Prix. But let's see how it goes. 8-10 separating the two at this point of the Grand Prix. It's certainly going to be interesting to see how it develops. Through the castle. Oh, Rysel that loses the rear! Rysel is in the wall. He manages to avoid contact. No, actually does not manage to avoid contact. And he has damage on the right side of his front wing. So Rysel having a big mistake. And it is going to be a disastrous moment for him. He's going to drop down to P2. Not sure if he's... Oh God, he's in the wall. That is a bad moment there, going even worse. He has complete lack of front wing on that side of the car. And Nimbleel, of course. Nimbleel, I would say Nimbleel has to back off. Actually, oh God, this could be disastrous. They are going to lose so much time to combine the YouTuber. But yeah, Rysel is going to have to take it to the pits for a front wing replacement. Maybe he can try to go on the mediums and do 10 laps on those. But let's see how it goes for him. Warhead gets promoted into top 3. But yeah, looks like at this point, Combined YouTuber, I was saying at the beginning of the broadcast, Combined YouTuber has not been able to get a podium finish just yet, and he might actually get himself this first podium finish with a win. First win as well. It would be quite nice to see the Renault finally gets the podium, and what a better way to finally get on the podium than standing on the top step. In the meantime, we have T-Mac very close to a Flyboy, as the Alfa Romeo and the Haas aren't too far apart, especially in terms of the tires. It's still two laps of difference between the Alfa Romeos and the Haas tires, but nonetheless, I'm going to see who can manage their tires the best at these points. Of course, T-Mac has started the race on the mediums. Flyboy actually started on the soft, so Flyboy might suffer from the biggest difference in terms of the grip between one set of tires to the other, right? Flyboy might have the most struggles, but yeah, let's see how it goes. In the meantime, Nimble Hill has dropped down the gap to 7.8 seconds. It was 10 seconds, the gap from P1 to P2. It's now 7.7, so Combined YouTuber having a mistake at some point. Doesn't look like he's missing any end plates though. Let's jump back to T-Mac, who is going to close in on Flyboy, I am sure. T-Mac has much more ERS available to him. Mode number 4 as available. Let's use the last of late breakers into turn 1, and T-Mac, even before the braking zone, was already ahead. Easy maneuver, and he is up to a P4. Flyboy though, he could, with a good enough exit, try to get back to T-Mac. Let's see, is it going to be possible? Doesn't look like so. We do have rain. We have rain falling down here at the city of Baku. It is falling down at the moment, and it is certainly going to spice things up, ladies and gentlemen. I was telling you, if someone had started on the hards, maybe they would be leading the Grand Prix without having a pit stop, and of course they could suffer a little bit on those at this point, but nonetheless, maybe could have extended. Maybe someone could have gone or could have extended until the rain period. Of course, looks like some of the other drivers decided to try and go soft hard, but unfortunately for them, they are struggling at this point, and they need to be careful because they can get caught up by the lack of grip at any point. Nimble Hill is continuing to catch up to Combined YouTuber. 6.6 seconds of a gap is between them. Yeah, they did say it before there was going to rain. I just didn't know when, right? We didn't know when it was going to rain. We know there would be rain, but not when. So I would expect within the next 5 laps people to have to pit for a set of intermediate. But yeah, at least at this point, Nimble Hill feeling much more comfortable than Combined YouTuber. Already dropped the gap to 6.6, and then it's going to be a matter of who is able to master the tricky wet conditions, especially on this track, right? You have the walls, they are quite unforgiving, so yeah, every mistake will be severely punished at this point. Let's see how it goes though. Rysel 9 seconds away from Flyboy, so I'm not sure if Rysel is going to have or going to be able to do anything about that one. But yeah, Nimble Hill is indeed more comfortable at this point. It is a 5.7 gap now. He is truly closing in. Going to take a look at the race director. I want to figure out if there are any warnings or penalties for these drivers. Nimble Hill already has 2 warnings. Combined YouTuber has 0 warnings through the entire race. So another slip up from the Ferrari, and there could be a penalty for Nimble Hill. In the meantime, I don't think anyone has a penalty. Any one of the runners have a penalty so far, which is good to see. But yeah, Nimble Hill is continuing to get ever closer, and even Wyatt. Wyatt is 3 seconds away from Nimble Hill. Not sure if he's able to get closer to the Ferrari or not, but we're going to pay attention to that in the laps to come. The gap has definitely dropped below 3 seconds, that's for sure. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to figure out how that one develops. of course, throughout these laps where it's going to be very tricky conditions. Of course, the track is starting to get wetter and wetter by the minute, and of course some drivers are more comfortable than others in the rain, especially in variable conditions like this. Every single lap, you need to be more careful into the corners, right? You have to increasingly uh, be more careful. You have to increasingly be conservative with your braking zones, or you might just lock up, and that might be the end of your Grand Prix. Of course, the same applies to the exit zones, to the attraction zones. Especially like the one Wahed is getting through now. Turn number 12, his teammate has spun coming out of turn 12. Wahed managed to keep his car on. I'm really sorry about this. Hopefully, okay. We are back. We are still in the rain, still on the dry compound of tires, and you could see on that shot there, the combined YouTuber is closing in, or he has Nimble Hill at about 2 seconds, maybe 1.5 seconds. So yeah, it is definitely Nimble Hill's time. Flyboy and Rysel had already gone to the pits for replacements. Looks like Adi has also dropped out of the session and come back in. I know the game is even locked up for me. The game has crashed. The game has even crashed for me now. Oh, the entirety of Steam. The entirety of Steam just gave up on life. Restart Steam. But yeah, I'm really sorry about this, but I'm going to try to get back in once again. I do need to reboot the game. And yeah, I can't. Hopefully, I'm still broadcasting. Hopefully. But yeah, I need you guys in chat to let me know if I'm still broadcasting or not. OBS is telling me I'm still broadcasting. But my internet is quite unstable for some reason. Yeah, I can't try to get back to previous lobby, can I?